Am I good to start? I'll take that as
We're
a
ready,
yes.
by the way.
Hey, we're ready.
Alright,
Yeah, we're ready.
I'll start it then. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're live! Once more, we have just a bit of friendly action here. We have a scrim between UnSound Minds and DEFI. DEFI or DEFY. I don't know which one it is. But I am spelling it the way that I first spelled it about a week ago, which is with an I at the end. So, we'll have to see if I end up getting corrected for that, or not. I certainly hope not, to say the least. First map of this best of 3 series will be Clubhouse, the pick of the attacking team of, UnSound Minds. We'll have to see how they do. This should be a better map for them, considering that they were the ones to pick it. We will have after this, I believe, Cafe. And then the final map should be Coast. I'm not 100% sure about that. Let's see. Yeah. So, Cafe will be our second map, and then, assuming that we get to it, third map will be Coastline. Pardon my awkwardness, just not a whole lot to talk about, or at least not yet. To give some background to both of these teams, both of them well-established teams, or relatively well-established teams, at least for UnSound Minds. I don't know about DEFI. They seem to be a newer team, considering that last week they were talking about how they weren't sure what their name was, so I might be wrong on that. Both teams, not terrible, but not, being honest, not great teams here. So we'll have to see how they do. We do have a hopefully pretty even matchup here. If anything, it might favor, based off of what I know from these two teams, it might favor UnSound Minds, but it's not going to be a blowout here for either team, really. Based off of the bans, it should also be pretty even. You have these odd bans here, which they don't make any sense to me. You have a Maverick ban to open it up from DEFI, which makes sense. This is Clubhouse. This is a very Maverick-friendly map. I would say this and Oregon are the two maps where you will see Maverick ban more oftentimes than Thatcher, especially this map. So it makes sense. It also makes it a lot harder for teams to get walls and hatches, especially when there is a Thatcher ban as well. When you have that map banned. The other attacking ban from UnSound Minds was a Lion. I don't understand the Lion ban, frankly. I have seen him in play before for DEFI, if I remember correctly, but it just doesn't make a ton of sense to me. Frankly, I would have banned maybe the Monty. Maybe a Nomad. We do see a Nomad in play here. That's going to be a big part of the support game in both teams in terms of flank watch, because that's probably your best bet to keep your flank secured or to cut off parts of the map. They could also potentially ban another hard breach, or even maybe I would say Flores. Obviously, there's not a whole lot of non-hard breach related attacking bans left, sadly. So, I'd say that it's an alright ban. The other ban that they had, which makes no sense, is a Vigil. Vigil, very strong fragger, very strong roamer, but in this context, it doesn't make sense. Vigil counters Lion. It's like banning Cav and Jackal. You ban one or the other. Because, thanks to that now, at least, if there was just a Vigil ban, then the Lion knows that everybody they spot, or everybody they scan against, will either sit still, be under a mute jammer, or move around and be detected. But with the Vigil, then also that every single person is actually where they're at. With the Lion Ban, then the Vigil becomes a bit less effective in that he has one less operator to counter, but it just doesn't make sense to ban an operator that counters another operator. It's at that point, it's a waste of a ban. You could have banned instead a Kaid, possibly a Mira or a Clash. We're seeing both of these in play here for DEFI. Clash is unusual on this map. Mira is a bit more traditional, but still not a great choice, as Base does take down Mike and Plane for the first kill of this map. Actually, the Ash there getting an opening pick for UnSound Mines. Back in the dirt side, as we see the Clash here of It's a Wrap providing quite a bit of a difficulty there to the defending team. 5v3's Release will take down Release. Also ends up knocking back It's a Wrap there, as he also gets a kill onto Ballistic, so it might have actually hurt more than it helped. It's a Wrap were traded out by Base, as Random will actually trade him. Toxic Ninja takes down Zerlis, and will get a frag there onto Random, up to just Toxic Ninja now. The Mira in a bit of a corner, outnumbered here. We'll have to see how UnSound Mines plays this. They have the man advantage. They have plenty of time to get a plant down. I doubt that Toxic Ninja is going to be able to stop that plant. He is getting some soft pings from his teammates, those yellow pings. Plant was stuck there by Kyaka Person, but immediately traded out by Toxic Ninja. 1v1 now between Will and Toxic, trying to get a frag here. One of them has to prevail over the other. Toxic Ninja looking for his third kill on the round. Does get those hard pings there. Fugly Will does get a bit more damage here. Just needs to wait about 15 more seconds and he'll get the frag and the round for UnSound Mines. Going up now, 1-0. To say the least, a very interesting opening round there for both teams. A Mira in play that didn't really affect anything. In fact, I would say that Mira by dummies was pretty much useless. There was very little rotation of utility. I don't know why the defenders to just give some critiques to the defense and then I'll switch to the attack and attack the attack. I don't know why there was a shield right where the hatch drop was. Just didn't make sense to me. Could have put it in the connecting hallway between objectives, or potentially on one of the boxes for the attack. It was just a mess once they started getting near the objective. They had to use a Nomad. They had to use Flank Watch utility to clear out a Clash, because obviously they weren't really prepared for it, but they also just didn't know how to deal with it at all. So they did well up until they actually reached the objective, and then everything fell apart, and that they didn't really have anything besides dirt and the hatch. It's helpful to have that blue as well, because at that point they took that side of the objective and then just everything started falling loose. Admittedly, by the end they had gotten 4 frags. The other team, which is DEFI, had only gotten 3, but it was still just a messy, I would say, execute on the objective there from them. Some precision is what's going to help a lot of teams at this level. I'm not saying that I'm a genius or, that I'm a D1 player. I'm not on target ban or anything. I'm just saying that precision in general at this level is very helpful. We'll have to see how it goes now for both teams, as we do have a bit of a change of pace and a bit of a change of required lineups for both sides, really, as there's now a CC and Cash defense. The big difference in terms of lineups between CC Cash and Basement is that the Hibana, if it's not banned, has to be present, and as you can see, there's also the opportunity for a bandit trick, as It's a Wrap will actually sacrifice one of his bandits to take down 2 Selmas. He took down 1 initially, he actually took down 3. Pardon me, I thought that he would only get 1, but surprisingly enough managed to pretty much waste all of his utility there. I know I'm being harsh, but it's true. I don't think It's a Wrap realized it, but he just burnt the majority of the utility of the defending team. Obviously, Kyaka Person all the way on the other side of the map could potentially open that up, but still, it's going to be difficult now for them to really get that CC and Rafters pushed down. They could potentially push red, but that's going to be difficult considering how this is set up. And they could also push constructions, and I think that's what we'll be seeing from them. But still, it's going to be difficult for the defending team here of UnSound Mines. So you can see Ballistic down there. I don't know exactly how, but is brought into a DBNO position. Will hopefully be revived soon by Will there. Have to see how this goes for them as they move to the second half of this round here. Is trying to get a plant down, or at least get a plan in motion, because at this point they have everything except for the actual objective. They, however, need to get Ballistic into some sort of position to help them get onto that objective. That or some vertical. They do have Ash, but Base here as this Ash has yet to use any of his utility, which seems like a waste. 5v4 as Release takes the head straight off of the Ash for the first kill of this round, and finally something will start to move here as a man advantage forms for DEFI. Meanwhile, UnSound Minds trying to get a push down here, trying to actually get onto that objective. Does finally stop that mute jammer, but it took them quite a while, and now they are under very strenuous circumstances. Down a man, as well as down to 30 seconds. Don't really have another way to push. They could potentially push that CC window here, and I don't know if they're going to be doing that or not, but they very well should consider it at this point. They have 4 players. They can certainly afford to at least try that. As you can see, UnSound Minds will push onto the objective 4v4 as Instagram's Release takes down. It's a wrap. And now UnSound Minds pretty much flooding onto the objective here. Dr. Ninja preparing to Nitro. I don't know what's going on here as Will take down Ballistic, his own teammate, as well as Random. Dr. Person does stick a plant here. Now 3v3 situation. Release will get a double kill on Nitro this time on his Release. As Toxic Ninja seemingly, I don't know what he's doing, honestly. He's had that mirror. He's been in a very important situation this entire round, but has not done anything with it. He very well could have stopped this plant from UnSound Minds, but it hasn't done anything. It's just disappointing. 3v2 now. Kyoka Person takes down Toxic. Mike and Plane down, but not out just yet. Will looking to potentially confirm it. I don't know. And Kyoka Person gets a second kill and the round for his team at 2-0 now in favor of UnSound Minds. UnSound Minds with another relatively strong round, mainly due to mistakes, I'd say, made by the opposite team. DEFI, they had a Mira set up there. It was an actually good Mira, and it wasn't being challenged from Red, which it really should have been by UnSound Minds. I think they might have even tried to, but failed. But even when they had that, in low time, with a man advantage, that Mira in place, with that Mira pretty much having the opportunity to be used, considering that it was a construction push, it wasn't used. DEFI did not take advantage of the utility that they had placed, that they had prepared against a construction push. They needed to use that mirror window there to stop the Hibana from getting in, to stop pretty much the entirety of UnSound Minds from getting on the objective in order to, in order to get a round win and get a plant down, or in the opposite order, really. Now, as you can see, DEFI again going to be trying their hand at this top floor objective. We'll be trying potentially a different strategy. I don't know exactly. They're still trying to finish up here as we do enter the action phase of this round. Obviously, I know I'm stating fact here, but it is true. They have yet to set up the mirror windows. I don't know if they're going to change those at all or what. It will be interesting to see. They do have a Kaid, interestingly enough, in play here. Kaid left unbanned by both sides. The other defensive ban, the defensive ban from DEFI, actually was a Wamai, which is very interesting. You wouldn't normally expect a Wamai ban, especially considering that he got nerfed a year ago, lost one disc as well as the shield. So it does not make a lot of sense to me, but expeditiously, very speedily, in other words, Ballistic as well as Instagram's Release does take that wall there for UnSound Minds. That's what they needed to do here. That's what they needed to get. And as a result, obviously, that Kaid setup that we saw from them, that very classic Kaid setup where it's supposed to be unreachable by vertical or whatever. It's supposed to be very difficult to get, and pretty much you could just counter it from CC window or Maverick with frags. That setup, considering that Kaid also is not only movement-wise slower, but his utility takes longer to go into effect. as Base does take down Release and Stress, kills the Mute there trying to play in Rafters, and opens up a potential pretty large void here for a push, or an opportunity to push for Unsound Minds. But as I was saying, because it just took too long, as now Instagram's Release is making his way onto the objective, takes down Random, and actually will be facing off against Toxic soon, it appears. He does try to get on the objective, but Ballistic will TK him. Oddly enough, I don't think that was the right choice. It's a wrap will fall at the hands of Base here. And now it's up to just Toxic and Mike and Plane. Toxic got a frag there on a Ballistic. Mike and Plane looking for one of his own from Swamp pretty much. Trying to get something done. Toxic Ninja looking to get some more kills down as he'll get Will out with a nice Nitro. Mike and Plane finally back on the objective here. Is looking around, holding an angle here on the Rafters. Does not spot Base though, who will inch forward towards that window. Kiyaka Person as well trying to get on the objective here. Mike and Plane spots Base, takes him down for a 1v2. Up to just Kiyaka Person at the point. Pushes forward with the bearing 9. Does take down Toxic Ninja, trades his teammate out. 1v1, none v1. Mike and Plane does stop Kiyaka Person. Denies the plant, denies the round win there for Unsound Minds. And will finally notch one for his team in the round scoreboard. Another messy round overall for both teams. Just a bit of a slow setup, I'd say, from the defending team, but ultimately didn't really matter. They weren't really punished for that slow setup. They lost the wall surprisingly quickly. You know, Ballistic as well as Zerlis just using the combination, the classic one of Thatcher and Thermite, to very quickly disable those Kite Electroclaws since it was not being tricked. And then from there to open up the wall, because, you know, Thatcher as well as Thermite are pretty much the two fastest secondary and hard breach supports in Siege at the moment, and they always have been.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
So not too surprising to see that they would get the wall quickly, considering those factors, but even then the attacking team there of Unsound Minds just pushed it poorly. I mean, they cleared out, they had Rafters clear. To bring you all back to the situation, they had Rafters clear, they had this wall open, and at that point they should have pushed Rafters, then gotten to, assuming that they still had control of Swamp / Lounge, then pushed to default and planted there, or potentially planted right by this doorway. But instead they look for a cash plant again, which makes no sense to me. You know, they had the amount of control that was necessary to get an execute down, and then they just lost gunfights, and as a result they lost control.
Setting a sequential breach.
Pardon my silence here, but just some quiet times, relatively speaking, as there is no longer a clash in play. Instead, it's a Rap switching out for the Alibi. Interestingly enough, is odd to say the least to see an Alibi in play. She doesn't bring a whole lot of utility. Her gun is not amazing, and where Base does take down Rap. So even now, getting that opening pick there, the Ash still proving to be useful, but it's a Rap as the Alibi. The Prismas aren't very helpful, I would say. I mean, they can be, but they're very rarely used to be helpful. And then, you know, all she has is impacts or shield, and if you want those, you can go to better operators. You can go to a Mai and a Smoke for 2 examples, for a shield and an impact. In the meantime, as you saw, Will trying to get that hatch open there. However, lost one of his Selmas due to an impact check from Release as Mike and Plane takes down Ballistic. Will trade him out there. So the Thatcher effectively went 0 in that sense, in that he died, but was pretty much immediately traded out there for the Jaeger, and certainly seems to benefit the attacking team, considering that it was one of the top players, kill-wise, for DEFI, in exchange for Ballistic, who, no offense, he is dropping a donut. I am just stating facts at this point. Oddly enough, a main push appears to be coming out here from at least Release, as Will take down Random, and now Toxic could be the next one up to really be put under some pressure here. Is having to deal with some players over in the blue side, as well as Release, who will be actually taken down there by Release. Toxic Ninja falls in the hands of Base, and will get the final kill there onto release. That'll be the round for UnSound Minds. 3-1 now. Another strong-ish round there for UnSound Minds. They play well, surprisingly enough. They didn't have a Hibana. I don't think they were prepared for a basement push, which, admittedly, the big change between a basement push and a top floor push is probably getting, to be honest, at least one hatch, which, while not impossible without a Hibana, is a lot more utility consuming. It can take, I think, 1 to 2 canisters of MAV fuel or a hard reach charge from, a Finca or a Buck. I know that there's a couple other operators, but those are the first two that come to my mind. Or half of Thermite's utility, or 2/3 of Ace's utility to get a single hatch. You can obviously mix and match now, so you could very well do a Selma and 2 Hibana pellets, but I very rarely see teams, unless they are forced to, very rarely see teams mixing 2 hard reach utilities in that way to get hatches. Now, DEFI going to be going to presumably their tertiary site here, gym and bedroom. For many teams, and to be honest, for most teams, it is their tertiary site. It'll be interesting to see how it goes for them. They are running a mirror strategy. It'll be interesting to see if that at all affects how the attacking team of UnSound Minds plays against it. But admittedly, DEFI has pretty much just been running this setup, or this mirror, for the entire game. I mean, they have it on basement, they have it on this site, they have it on Cease and Cash. I would say that it's not very effective. Mira got a pretty heavy nerf at the beginning of the season, same with Maestro. She got the shattered glass effect in that if anybody, regardless of if they're an attacker or a defender, if anybody knifes that window on either side, it does pretty much turn opaque. So it becomes practically unusable. It also changed the animation of the mirror window falling off, but that's a bit less important, I'd say. As you can see, Selma's going to go down here, I believe trying to prevent a bandit trick from occurring, but even then I really think that if Mike and Plain wanted to, he would have bandit tricked. He did not, however, and now he is dead at the hands of Ballistic, getting the first kill on his record for this series. I was trying to phrase that properly, as now DEFI man down here, surprisingly enough. In the past rounds, it's been pretty even, if not favoring them, in terms of manpower, at least until the late game. That's when it seems to have turned against them, or usually seems to turn against them here. As you can see, Zerlis making his way towards the objective here, trying to actually push out that Mira window. Does end up flashing once, looking for a second flash is Toxic. We'll be trying to deal with that. Already lost the Mira window, as well as getting shattered glass. 4v4. Random takes down Will there. Now, even number situation, as well as the Selma's being off the board. Zerlis will get a frag on a Toxic here. Man advantage again in favor of UnSound Minds. Base getting exacerbate that man advantage now. 4v1, Instagram takes down Release up to just random here. As you can see, Zerlis going to push forward, looking for the final kill. And Base will get it, and the round for his team. 4-1 now. A dominant lead appearing for the attacking team, surprisingly enough. To say the least, it's surprising that they have this lead, the attacking team of UnSound Minds. It seems like it would be normally a pretty close matchup. I guess this is a very strong map for them, or a very weak map for DEFI, because this is pretty much the same lineup that I saw the last time that I saw DEFI play a team, which was last Sunday. Yeah, last Sunday, the 19th. So it's pretty much their same lineup. The only difference really is now obviously a different opponent and a different map. So different circumstances here, and this is Clubhouse. So to speak on the idea of a different map, obviously it's a different map. I don't know why I'm going to keep on repeating that single phrase so many times, but the reason that I bring it up is that This is a pretty 50-50 map. If you wanted to say that it favored somebody, I would dare say that it favors the attack slightly. It's not a broken map like Villa or Theme is, or I would say Bank as well. Bank's an absolute garbage can of a map, in my opinion. I don't like it. There. I think that's fairer for them. But, you know, even with that in mind, with that 50-50, if not slightly favoring the attack, it shouldn't be this disputable for the defending team. At this point, they should be, you know, 3-2 or 2-3, not 1-4. They shouldn't be potentially facing a 5-1 split going on to attack. It's just a mess for them. I don't know exactly why, but if I had to make a guess, it's just mistakes that they're making. I mean, they lost a round there because they didn't play a mirror window. They lost another round because they just didn't hold a side of the objective properly, I'd say. They lost that last round, really, because the mirror there on Logi failed, and then they just didn't win gunfights. I mean, to look at the stat lines here, if we wanted to compare kills, since we have the opportunity, it's, what, 16? It's 24 versus 15? So there's a pretty large deficit in terms of kills between these two teams. 5v4 as Release takes down Mike and Plane, as I think It's a Wrap might be moving towards the position to start a flank. I don't know exactly. He's playing quite slowly, which there's nothing wrong with that. I just was wondering if he was going to start moving towards that objective, as you can see now. On the other side, on the actual objective, Will does finally open up that plat wall there, CC wall, with the assistance of Ballistic, 2 of his EMPs, and that wall has been opened, trying to now engage one of the players over on Rafters. I believe that that's actually Release, who will just get a single knife down. I think he was trying to draw their attention away, but there's a Claymore on that. I don't know if Release realizes it, but if he wants to run out of there, he would have to deal with the Claymore. On the other side, though, on the Salon side, there's nothing there, and there's obviously nothing on this supply window, so I don't know what's going on for It's a Wrap as well as Release. I don't know why they haven't at least tried running out here. I think that their passiveness is what's sort of leading them into these situations where they pretty much have nothing left, and have to deal with about a 50-second to a minute-long gap for executions. Nitro goes out there. Mike and Plane, obviously, the only one dead at the moment. The first pick for UnSound Minds. The first one dead, at least for this round, for DEFI, as there goes the mirror window in red, and now red is practically compromised because of that. There's now a giant head-level sightline there for base to take advantage of. In spite of that, though, Toxic takes him down. Double kill from Instagram's Release, as he now appears to move on to the objective. Random takes down Ballistic, but will get 2 frags down to Toxic as well as Random. And now it's up to just Release, who will take down Will. Looking for a trade here. He'll get another one there on the Pyaka person, up to just him and Instagram's Release. A 5-1 split on the line here. So Release very low health here. I don't know if Release has realized that he is just holding an angle here, waiting this out. He does not have a Nitro, but then again, Release does not have the diffuser. It's off in that corner, that sort of default plant spot. Release will swing and get the kill. And that'll be the round as well as the half. Despite a round here favoring DEFI, the half still favoring UnSound Minds. Let me get the scoreboard here at half. 7-9-8-3-1. 5-6-3-3-1. To elaborate more on that sort of kill deficit here. The attack won 4 rounds. They got plants in half of those rounds that they won. And even though they got plants those first 2 rounds, they still got enough frags to win the round. So it seems as though the plant helped them win the round, but it was not the sole determinant.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can. Attackers have located the bomb.
You can stop worrying about grenades. Send in worker.
10 seconds left. 5 seconds left.
Pardon my, not only my congestion, as you all probably have been able to tell, but also the silence very quickly. I'm trying to multitask here. And it's kind of difficult to multitask while also casting. It's just a lot of things, to say the least. As, oh dear. Ballistic. Ballistic. He just lost a shield. They changed that for... Okay, what's going on here? This is interesting to see. Release, bring down a fuse. Toxic gonna send in a thermite charge. There goes the Goyo. There does also lower Zerlease by probably 30 health, I would assume. Is gonna be waiting here for a stim from one of those Kona stations set up by Kyaka Person. Oh, my bad. Kyaka Person is down, but not out just yet. It might be trying to crawl towards a Kona station to get a revive. I doubt that he'll be able to. And it certainly won't be able to get a revive from a teammate, considering that it's just a sightline, as well as the fact that he's isolated practically in rafters. We'll get a revive down, but no! Toxic Ninja denies the kill. Denies the res, pardon me. And gets a man advantage for his team now. I don't know what's going on here for Ballistic, but he does get another kill. Finally moves off of the McDonald's fries, takes down Rap, trades his teammate out, if I remember correctly. Might have been Toxic actually to get that first kill here, as pretty much the entirety of CC has been turned into soft floor, or open floor, really. 4v3 Instagrams Release does take down Release and Stress, looking for another kill potentially, as Ballistic is going to just get a bit aggressive here. Does get the hard ping on Rafters. Don't know if Toxic realizes that he's getting hard pinged. Gets an additional stim there thanks to one of Kyaka Person's Kona stations before destroying it. I almost said deleting it. Technically the same thing. Just a bit of a scorched earth tactic there in use from Toxic Ninjas. Now, meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Base is still just sitting in bathroom. It's pretty much left it. He's pretty much left it to a 3v3 on the objective. They have a man advantage and they're not taking advantage of it. It's not the end of the world for them, but they should be trying to take advantage of it now. My Complaint does lose some health there as he is trying to play the CC wall here. As you can see, Toxic Ninja does send out a second thermite charge and just blows open that wall here as Random, with the diffuser as the Flores, is trying to get some kills or at least move people around thanks to those Flores with Artero charges. And My Complaint takes down Zerlease, and now an opportunity appearing here. Base still off the objective. Ballistic takes down Toxic for a 3v2 now. And the man advantage still there. Random looking for the plan. Will be able to stick it. Most likely, My Complaint now just holding an angle, waiting for somebody to show up. Spots Ballistic, does lower him, but is unable to finish the round. Unable to finish the kill, pardon me. Runs out of rounds in his primary magazine. Base swallows at the end of My Complaint. He gets a third there on the Ballistic. Looks for a fourth, and he almost got it there. Random with the assist from right behind him. Picks up the kill. And the round for his team. 4-3 now. Just a messy round there for the defending team. I don't know if it's that this is a defender favored map, attacker favored map all of a sudden. I don't feel like it is, considering that it's a Maverick ban in comparison with two pretty much throwaway defensive bans. So I don't feel like it would be normally, but I guess it is, because obviously we're only one round into the second half, but already a comeback being mounted by DEFI. We'll have to see if they can bring it back to even here with this next round and attack onto the basement objective. And now, in order for them to get this down, they're going to really need to focus on, once they get those walls, once they get the plant down, pretty much getting those two things. Because once they get those two down, as I was about to say, they pretty much have the round secured. In the bag, however you want to call it, they pretty much win the round. They won it last time, and once they got that wall, once they got CC wall, it became a lot harder for Ballistic and the rest of UnSound Minds, because of that fact, they just weren't prepared for it at all. It was, I would say, a slow prep phase from UnSound Minds, which they should hopefully have improved from now. They should be at a better spot here. They should hopefully, you know, have learned from that and now be able to get their setup done on time, which appears to be true here. I am not terribly surprised by that, but if they can just, for the defending team, if they can just keep a wall closed for most of the round or a hatch closed, you know, if they had some sort of denial on this hatch, which they don't. If they had some sort of denial on it, they would be in a lot better of a position. As Kyok person, as you can see, is the only player that could potentially bring impacts. Nobody else could. He has already used all his impacts, because this is poor pre-planning here from the defending team. They have no shotguns. Base would be able to bring the Super Shorty, but that nerf happened a year ago, or whatever. But now, they don't have impacts to trick, because Kyok person had to use them for rotates. And personally, I think that a rotate is more important than an impact trick. But still, they needed a shotgun or more impacts, because they have 3 nitros. I think that's more than enough nitros. If their plan was founded around the idea of ballistic, playing Arsenal and denying kills there, then it might matter more. But you know, it wasn't, and he wasn't able to get anything done because DEFI operated off of this window where he can't nitro that unless he manages to hit some absolute Kobe of a throw through the hatch, which, to say the least, would be impressive, but I think unlikely. Oh, thank you for, since I just got the notification, I'm gonna actually give a shout out here. Thanks to JDog61264 for the subscription, whatever you want to call it, but what I can call it is an opening frag for base as he takes down Mike and Blaine, removing the Ash from the equation. Takes down the top frag, or one of the 2 top frags of the attacking team here of DEFI. The other one being Release. He did get down one of his fuse charges there. Opened up, or helped really to open up this Arsenal hatch. Pushed also away Ballistic. He might have even gotten some damage onto him too, which all the more impressive. For him, Random does take some damage here as he's trying to play dirt. 30 seconds left as DEFI does need to get a defuse down. 4v3, Kyok person takes down Random. And it seems as though a comeback actually being snubbed. Toxic Ninja does bring a shred of hope to this team as he takes down Ballistic. But still, they need to get, DEFI needs to get a defuse down soon. Rap takes down base. And now, trying to get on the objective, however, Toxic Ninja falls at the hands of Will there. The Bandit traded out, but it's a Rap double kill from Kyok person. He takes down Release up to just Rap, and Zerlease snubs him of the ability to clutch up in very low time circumstances. It's another round for his team. 5-3 now. 4 UnSound Minds. Just a messy round there for the attacking team. I mean, they got the hatch. They got 2 hatches. They probably should have gotten all 3. Considering they had a Hibana, it was an availability for them. But then from there, they just didn't get anything else. I mean, sure, they got control of dirt, but you can't really get anything done from dirt without additional pressure from that hatch, which they weren't really providing. I mean, they got it opened up, and sure, in and of itself, there has to be some credit made for them getting that hatch open. It does put some psychological pressure, even if it's not played by the attacking team. There's certainly some psychological pressure on the defending team by losing that hatch. And that, you know, obviously, it's pretty much going to affect everything in Arsenal except for dummies. And to an extent, AKs. So just bearing in mind the fact that it's simply there as well as an additional angle for the defenders to watch. You know, they just didn't pressure it. They had dirt, they had that. They should have been able to get an execute down towards the cage side, as I like to call it. That very western side. Over here, I don't know what you all call it, but that's what I refer to it as cages. because it's a cage. Should have been able to get an execute down, but they just didn't pressure it enough, and they didn't pressure fast enough. They had 40 to 50 seconds to get an execute on the objective, and that's when it all fell apart. They just didn't have anything else to work off of, and they didn't have enough time to work it. I don't know why I was focusing on ballistic there. Pardon the silence, as base does take down random. And now, as you can see, a man advantage and a round advantage in favor here of UnSound Minds. Base has been doing consistent work. Congratulations to him as well as Will for the past 2 rounds. Both of them reaching double digits for their team. As you can see, it's a wrap trying to push forward here, trying to get some frags. He's trying to make work with what has been given to him courtesy of the Hibana there. I've talked too much of, but alas, it's Hibana. They can't really do anything. I would say that that's a mistake there from DEFI in seemingly preparing to push basement, even though the defending team won basement. If this is their top floor setup or lineup, then so be it. As you can see, Toxic Ninja just pushed forward here. Does take down base there, luckily for any of you fans of DEFI. Does manage to get that kill, and which is what they needed. Toxic Ninja also does get a a stim, pardon me, from a Kona setup by Kyoku person. And then after side of it, of course, straight to the tactic right after as he does take it down. Unsurprisingly, Kona's being used by both sides, which is what I would expect from them. EMP is going out there actually from to wrap, all 3 of them being used as he's now trying to play. As you can see, this still trying to play this red area, or this plant wall, pardon me, trying to make some impact onto that area of red. Will just trying to hold that as that's the sort of dichotomy, the contradiction, is that one player playing the other area. They're not really seeing each other, but they're trying to 4v2 now as Release takes down Ninjas. Jacket Percy does get a frag there onto Release, I would assume, as Ballistic does fall at the hands of Mike and Plan, and that's a bit ironic that the Warden dies to being Ying Flash. 2v1 now. Will takes down Mike and Plan, and it does also takes down Rap after Mike and Plan are taken out. Actually, it's Release there. Just an absolute mess in the final 15 seconds, and that'll be the round for the defending team. 6-3 now. Now, pretty much 2-1 here, round-wise. For every 2 rounds that the defending team has won, 1 round has been won by the attacking team. Keep in mind that 2 of those rounds that were won by DEFI were on defense. They still have yet to score another round on attack. It has been now, 2 rounds, technically, since they last won a round. I sound like I'm sick. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm congested, to say the least. Like, my nose has been running this past morning and afternoon, going into the afternoon, and now I'm just congested. So, it's been great, you know, trying to cast while congested. So, it's changed my voice, to say the least. Yo, the goat himself. Thank you. Thank you, Smudney. Hello. It is good to see you, my friend.
Attackers have located a bomb. 10 seconds to insertion. 5 seconds to go. Attackers are moving to defuse the bomb.
Get a good look at that. Camera activated. Set device. Unrolling razor wire.
Pardon the silence, folks. I was trying to take some pretty much flow nays. Who's winning? It's UnSound Minds here, 6-3. on defense here in the first map of best of 3 skirmish between them and DEFI. DEFI, the attacking team here. The next map pick will be DEFI's map pick of Cafe, where I believe they will attack first. I might be wrong on that. I don't remember exactly who. As now the Thermite there, trying to get the wall open. Will get it open thanks to the coordination of the Thatcher as well. Even in spite of that mirror window on that wall, which seemed to be a bit of a waste of a mirror window, frankly. If they wanted another mirror, they could have put it somewhere else, frankly. The Nitro went after Piyaka Person. It brought Rap down by about half health. I would say maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less. Random does pick off Kuyaka Person for 4v4 now, actually, as Rap will fall at the hands of Ballistic. Took 2 Nitros to take down the Nomad of DEFI. But even number situation again for both teams, actually. I would say for the attacking team, but technically as well for the defending team. As you can see, Release and Stress trying to push forward here. It does have a wall open on the objective, considering the fact that it was a soft wall. I have no clue why, considering that there was a castle barricade right next to it. Seems like a bit of a waste for anybody trying to actually push that. As now a Salmo as well will go down on that. I don't know why they haven't just used a breaching charge. I mean, Toxic literally has a breaching charge. So does Random. Either of them could have just put a breaching charge on it. There's nobody playing in cons. Ghost's Person is CC window. Here's their Release getting a frag there onto Random. Don't know why they didn't just do that instead of wasting more utility as Toxic does. TK Release. I don't know what's going on here, but it seems as though disassembly as Basin Will gets the 2 last frags of this first map. 7-3. It'll be a win here for UnSound Minds. Who's winning? UnSound Minds won 7-3 first map.
Escargo, are we getting a break in between maps?
Do you want one?
One sec. Yeah, can we get a 3-minute break?
I was just gonna break for 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah, that works. Alright.
Am I good to start?
Alright, we're ready, by the way.
Okay. Okay, now I have to wait.
He misclicked. Don't worry about it. He's running.
Okay, we're back. We have map 2 of this best of 3 series, which will be Cafe. Cafe, a lot more defender-sided, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense considering that the team that got the ability to choose their sides, which was UnSound Minds, chose to attack. It's not, I would say it's not as broken as Villa, because frankly, Villa is ridiculously defender-sided. But it's still pretty strongly defender-favored on this objective. We'll have to see how that affects how they play, though, and to give you a recap of the last map, just some messy action from both sides, I would say more so from DEFI. Less that they weren't doing specific things, but, well, I would say that, but mainly that they were doing things incorrectly or improperly, in other words. You know, they had missed opportunities to stop a plant, missed opportunities to stop a push, you know, just messy executions. They needed to be a bit more precise, I'd say, in terms of how they went at it. Hi, Brio. Bans are normally pretty standard bans, I would say. You know, normally very based around getting the wall and then getting the plant down. So you normally see it at the Thatcher, which is what we see in that first lot. And normally in response we see a Kaid, which is not what we're seeing here. We see a sledge ban there from UnSound Minds. I think that was a bit of a target ban, really, because you don't normally see sledge as a comfort ban or as a, you know, very ridiculously popular operator, you know, such as Thatcher or Maverick, which is where it would make more sense, but I would say it makes less sense here. Then you have a Valkyrie ban. What league this for? This is just a scrim that I've been requested to cast.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
But anyways, the other bans, Valkyrie, it makes sense. I don't think that was really a target ban. We didn't see a ton of Valkyrie on that first map, but even then, Valkyrie's a very strong operator, just regardless of map. She brings a lot of utility and a lot of intel with the Black Eyes, so I was not too terribly surprised to see that. You know, to see the Mira in play.
10 seconds left. 5 seconds left before insertion. Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
But last ban was a Mozzie ban, which was very obviously a target ban there from DEFI onto a member of UnSound Minds. I don't remember which. Admittedly, DEFI did use the Mozzie, so I'm not surprised. It's interesting to see that they banned it even though they were using it, but I just don't know why exactly they would ban it besides for a target ban. Just interesting bans overall from these two teams. AGL sledge ban. It's not for AGL. It's just a scrim. Sledge ban. Yeah, I don't understand the sledge ban either. I think it was a target ban, but even then, I don't know who it was targeted against. I've seen sledge ban like once in my entire time doing casting. It's just very unusual to see a sledge ban, to say the least. As you can see, a cigar push in place from UnSound Minds as Random does take down Ballistic as well as Zerlise. Good start to this half. Good start to this map for DEFI. I almost said it the other way around. Now, as you can tell, the attacking team pretty much confined now to exclusively cigar, trying to push outside of that area. Interestingly enough, at the bottom of red stairs, it's a wrap. I think he's waiting for somebody to push him, but I doubt, considering that it's a 5v3 with less than a minute left, that anybody will push him, unless they get pushed to him from another defender. Random looking for another frag here. He will take down a drone, reduces the number of drones available for UnSound Minds to just 4. They've been using a lot of them, and I don't think that it's really yielded any major results, considering that they're down to pretty much less than half their utility, less than half their intel. They're outnumbered pretty badly here as Based is trying to get onto the objective there. From a sightline setup actually by Will there, as you can see. Now hard charge going down the Kuyaka person as Rap will get a first kill of his time on this map. They're actually onto Will. Based falls the Anthem, I can play it up to just Kuyaka person here on a 1v4. Yes, he did take down Release, looks for a second one at a random, looks for a third, he'll get it there onto Toxic. Now looking for a plant, it's a wrap, or Mike and Play needs to get a push down on him. Because he will actually be able to stick the plant, almost guaranteed. He will. Now a 1v2 post-plant situation here. Holding the angle, waiting for somebody to smite him, is just holding that shotgun. Ready. I can play and will push forward here. I think he realizes where that buck is. He does spot it. Quad kill from Kuyaka person, looks for the 5th, looks for the ace, and he'll get it to open up this map. An ace there from Kuyaka person. What an opening round there. Random gets 2 frags to open it up, and in spite of that 3v5, in spite of technically a 1v5, considering that by the time that Kuyaka person got his first kill, he was the last one left. In spite of a 1 versus all circumstance, somehow DEFI manages to lose the round. They let him plant because they had 2 players off-site very late in the round, which is a mistake. You don't want to have players that far off, that late in the round, because then they can't influence and execute at all. You know, if they were close to the objective, or if they had realized, if they had gotten a sound call from a teammate, then they would have known that there was a plant going down. 1v5, 15 seconds left, exactly! He won a 1v5 with 15 seconds left because they all threw their bodies at him. In a 1v5, with that little time, just hold an angle, hold a crossfire, or trade each other, instead of just throwing 5 1v1s at him, especially 5 very easy 1v1s. I'm not saying that DEFI is bad at 1v1s, but I'm saying that if you all line up in a line, if he's right here at the sewerway, and you just start swinging here, and start going up the stairwell there, it's very easy to get 3 kills off of that, because you're just allowing him to just simply hold one angle and get pretty much half of your team out from that. Same strategy, it appears, from DEFI. We'll have to see how that goes for the attacking team of UnSound Minds, as they are bringing a Maverick, actually. It's a bit surprising to see that they have that Maverick in play. Before there, as base takes down Mike and Plane. And now a man advantage has formed here for UnSound Minds. So you can see just trying to make a push here onto that first floor that second floor, pardon me, of the objective. The area directly below site. Don't know how effective that'll be for them. Still have to deal, however, with It's a Wrap all the way on the basement. Technically ground floor, technically basement, depending on how you want to call it. Trying to make something work out of that. As you can see, same cigar push here for UnSound Minds. They're getting control of it. There's nobody there to contest it. There's a random DEFI taken down there by Will. The ace gets the frag there. And now a two-man advantage. Just one, actually, as It's a Wrap takes down Ballistic. On the roam here, surprisingly enough, I think he might have started returning to the objective he has, as he's now actually on the second floor here. First floor completely empty. Finally, I think DEFI learned from their mistake the last time around, as they now have a one-man advantage, dealing with the same push. More time, though. More time here for the attacking team, and one less of a man advantage for the defending team. Instead of a 3v5. For every two now, base takes down It's a Wrap. Looking for a third, potentially, as he'll just start making his way into the objective. Kiyaka person takes down Toxic, up to just release and stress here. In a 4v1 situation, gets air jab, but still manages to take down Instagram, surprisingly enough. So release falls, but base trades, and that'll be the round there for UnSound Minds. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be back.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs. Bomb located by attackers. Ten seconds to insertion. 5 seconds left. Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb. The attackers' bomb.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have returned.
Attackers
In
have
case you
recovered
cannot
their
tell,
diffuser.
let's see what we missed. Just a simple prep phase there from DEFI kitchen site now after they lost top floor twice. We'll have to see now how UnSound Minds responds to that, as they appear to just be looking for potentially a top-down roam clear, I think. They're all getting on rappel and heading towards the top floor, so I think that's what they go. That's what they'll be going for. I don't know if that's exactly the strongest choice, considering, you know, Wrap, as well as to an extent, I think Mike and Plane as well. I might be wrong on that. At least one more player has been roaming very deeply. In this case, it's Wrap here. He does spot one. Does actually get taken down there by Kiyaka person. And that'll be a man advantage now already for the attacking team of UnSound Minds. I just don't know what's going on here for DEFI. They seem to be unable to respond, really, so far at least. So you can see now, prep wall attempting to be breached there, as Instagram's release will fall at the hands of Mike and Plane. As the Maverick here, Will, trying to help get that wall open, takes down the bandits and does allow an opportunity here for 2 Selmas to go down there, courtesy of Ballistic. That's actually all of the Selmas after he got, I guess, 1 tick over there. Kiyaka Person does take down Mike and Plane. The 2 apparently former teammates, from what I've heard from Kiyaka Person, now on opposite teams and now facing off here. Bay's gonna try and get a frag there. Actually, that would be against Toxic Ninja, who ends up getting the DBNO there. I don't know if he's gonna be able to finish it off. Dispatch a Nitro, but all it does is just open up that softball there. That's a bit unfortunate. 4v2, as Will does pick off Release and Stress. It's now up to just Random and Toxic. We'll have to see how it goes for them. As you can see now, push in progress here for UnSound Minds. Random does get a frag, alas, onto Will. Does start to alleviate some of the pressure here on him and his teammate, which is Toxic. Toxic Ninja 459 to be more specific, if you wanted me to just clarify that I'm not saying that somebody is toxic here. Base is going to be trying to actually push forward for his team here. He did get downed, actually, by Toxic, so he's down to just 20 health and a 30-second time limit, pretty much, in the round for an execute to occur. They don't have a wall. They don't have any walls onto the actual objective as Random takes down Ballistic. Gets the second kill of his second kill on this round with a headshot this time around. Kiyaka Person will push forward here. Looking for a frag. Doesn't realize, though, that Toxic's right there. He does swing it slowly. Still gets the frag, though. 3k from him. Base the last one left. Or, pardon me, Random the last one left. Looking for another kill here. As Base is looking for plan. I don't think they realize it. All he has to do is just kill Base, and he does. And that's the round there for DEFI. Ladies and gentlemen, 2-1 here. 1 round advantage for the attacking team, which is a bit surprising. You know, this is a defender-sided map, so if anything, I'd expect it to be 2-1 in favor of DEFI, but not a big difference. If it was 4-2, then there would be an actual discussion, but it's just a 1-round lead here. And DEFI will be looking to actually close that 1-round lead as they now go to top floor again. As you can see, just going to be looking for something here. I don't know how effective they will be at that. They're going to try. They do have, looking at their lineup, oddly enough, they have a Aruni in play, which Aruni is a surprisingly potent operator. I would expect her to be banned a bit more than she actually is.
10 seconds remaining.
Every once in a while I do see her banned, but it's not as much as I would normally think. So it'll be interesting to see how that affects how they play. The other thing is that they don't have a mirror this time around. They've swapped that out. They now have an echo. I don't know if that was the direct change, but that seems to be the difference, at least operator-wise, is echo instead of a mirror. The echo should be a good addition since they do have these. Since echo does have those 2 yokai drones that can pretty much be placed anywhere. You know, he can pilot them as well, so they are mobile. They are no longer cloaked, which is unfortunate for all the echo mains. He does, however, have a shield available. That was the trade-off, is that he lost the cloaking ability. In exchange, he gets a shield. He also has a pretty good weapon. I believe it actually deals more damage than the MP5 suppressed, which is kind of ridiculous. Base takes down Random for a 1-man, as well as 1 round of advantage for the attacking team of UnSound Minds. Looking for potentially second kill here is Base. Just going to push forward here, trying to get another kill. Is looking up there to the balcony. He might be trying to actually clear out another player as he'll take down Mike and Plane. Surprisingly enough, gets a 2-man advantage for his team. Strong entry work, even without any support from UnSound Minds, which I'd say is a bit of a mistake from them. Even without any support, still able to get a good amount of work done here. Toxic also brings the ability to stop plants, as well as just disorient enemies in general, but I don't know how effective that'll be. They have a setup here, at least on that bar side, that seems to suggest that that's what they want to do. I don't know how effective they will be at accomplishing that objective, as C4 are going to go out there for Mr. Rap, I believe, onto Instagram Zerlease. Does not, however, hit Zerlease, just simply scares him away, if anything. Wastes a couple of seconds, but doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It's a Rap there. Still playing on that bar side, does take down another air jab there, as Zerlease does get his third one used. 3k now from base, as it's up to just It's a Wrap. 4 from base, 4 from the Ash, looking for a 5th potentially, as base does get an ace and a flawless round. Very nice rhyme there from me, and now it will be a round 3 win, or technically round 4 win for UnSound Minds.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Take some points.
Banshee is go. Replicate powered up.
Reloading, cover me.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Julia is on.
10 seconds left before insertion.
Second to last round of this first half of the second map, so 2-1-2 in a sense, as a 2-round advantage has formed for UnSound Minds, looking to expand it to 3 potentially, but if they lose these next 2 rounds, which, based off of how they've been playing, seems unlikely, if they lose these next 2 rounds, it would not be the end of the world. They would be going on to defense on Cafe, which is normally a defender-centered map, even more so thanks to these bans,
Loading new mag.
and they would have an even slate. They would have pretty much just the amount of time that a ranked match has. They would have 6 rounds on defense and then 3 rounds. It's just a very odd configuration for when it comes to ranked. Instead of switching at 3, they switch at 6, and then 3 rounds of overtime. It's the same concept, just slightly differently executed. And a Rooney in play again here for DEFI. This time it's a Wrap bringing the Rooney in exchange. Release and Stress is bringing a Rook. I think he might have been trying to spawn peek, but I would advise against that. He also does not bring a whole lot of utility. Rook brings a health boost, but if you get headshot, that health boost doesn't matter. You being, Doc stimmed, Kona stimmed, under a mute jammer with 3 armor and I don't know, a Rook plate. Base does take down my complaint as I'm speaking. Doesn't matter when you get headshot. It's just death. 5v3 now. Ballistic takes down Toxic Ninja. So a 2-man advantage now, as Base looks for a 3rd, and he'll get it. A 2nd on the round, pardon me, and a 3rd man advantage for UnSound Minds here. Where V2 release does take down Instagram's release. Looking for another one potentially, so he's just playing over on the cocktail balcony side. Does not, however, spot the Maverick there of Will. Random, the last one left here. Ballistic looking for the plant, he'll get it. Kyoka person down but not out, so essentially a 3v1 post-plant situation here. For Random, he'll look for a kill here. Does actually spot somebody all the way back in that cigar side. Also notice is actually Base there at the top of White. Does get another DBNO, so now basically a 2v1, but Kyoka person walks right up to Base. Not to Base, to Random, pardon me, with the shotgun, gets the kill and the round for this team. 4-1 now, as again, a Anyways, potential 5-1 split here in favor of the attacking team, soon to be defending team of UnSound Minds at stake again. We'll have to see if there's another recovery for the defending team here, the defending team being DEFI. I don't think it's likely, frankly. They just have seemed to be a mess here. They have picked up one round, and it was on Cafe, and it was a very close win by time. I just think that
discovered the location of a bomb.
just think that it's unlikely. Never say never, obviously, but still, it seems to be doubtful currently that they get anything done really from that. They obviously they could, but it seems as though
10 seconds left.
it seems as though it's unlikely.
5 seconds to insertion. Attacker's objective is to defuse a bomb. Attackers dropped the diffuser. Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Now, final round is, oddly enough, back to basement. It makes, or ground floor, pardon me, I don't know why I keep calling it basement. It makes sense. It's the opportunity that they have after 2 round losses. They can go back there, or technically 2 rounds played. After they win an objective, they have to play 2 more rounds before they can go back there. So, makes sense. At least a objective rotation. Hi, Milk. And yes, dang, this is not looking great here for DEFI. Never say never. I've seen a comeback from being down 5-1. I've seen that comeback. But should have told me. I'm sorry, Milk. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that you wanted to watch me stream. You should subscribe and turn on post notifications on all my videos. I stream 20 times a day. Now, as you can see, another top-down roam clear here from UnSound Minds. I don't know if that's exactly their strongest option, their best option, considering that although it has yielded good results in the past, now I think DEFI has learned and has become a bit more conservative. Now they just have a player on second floor instead of a player all the way on the top floor. But still, it's obviously wasting time. It should hopefully yield results soon. And there goes their release, falling at the hands of Toxic. That was a bad play there from Instagram's release, to say the least. And I think that that's going to cost them quite a bit. And that he probably had 2 air jabs on him, which is quite a bit of flank watch still available. 2v5 now. It's a rapid release to get frags, as Base will actually trade out Toxic, Zerlease for Toxic. Still, though, bad numbers situation here for the attacking team. They could obviously turn it back, considering that Kyaka person, who has 10 kills, congrats to him, congrats to Base as well for 11. Both of them reaching double digits here on this map in less than 6 rounds. Or in 6 rounds, pardon me. In spite of an number disadvantage, we did see in the very first round an ace in a 1v5. Kyaka person, they could very well bring this back here. Base, as well as Kyaka person, going to be trying to make a recovery. Base does get a frag there. Second on the round, I believe, on to Release and Stress. I don't know if that was, if you want to count that as a trade or not. Technically not. Technically yes. Depends on your definition, really. Now, as you can see, trying to make his way on the objective is both Base and Kyaka person, but nope, Mike and Plane as well as Random do end up securing a 4-2 split against them, but not the end of the world. They do have time to recover. They do have another half to play. His release is trying out. Apparently they were impressed by what they saw last week, to say the least. Now we're waiting for everything to load in. I am in Central, thankfully. I think one time I had to cast a scrim on South Central for some really random reason. I'm nowhere near.
Attackers need to locate
I'm
and
nowhere
defuse as many
near.
bombs as they can.
Oh, frankly, I don't even know what I was talking about, folks. I'm sorry. I'm just everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
Attackers have
It's
discovered the location of a
been a
bomb.
long day. It's gonna be even longer. So I still have stuff to do tonight. Whatever. On a very unrelated note, as I'm gonna take a look at the scoreboard here, we have a 4-2 split, as I mentioned, 12-10, 1-3-0.
10 seconds to
Oddly
go.
enough, pretty much Ballistic and Will, their kills combined to a third of what Base has. On the other side, 3-6-3-1-3. Comparing frags, again, I did that last time around. There's 26 versus 16. A 10 kill advantage here. Pretty much, if Kyoka person did not exist, it would be an even number of kills between the two teams. A 4v5. And keep in mind, that would be removing the second to top fragger for UnSound Mines. Be the result. Does that mean I get flex back? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not the one to tell you that. Hi Flex 2KO. I don't really remember you, but I remember you exist. Existed. I don't know if you still exist. As you can see now, DEFI looking to make a push happen. They do finally have a Lion available. They lost the Lion last map, it was banned. Oddly enough, both of these maps, Jackal has been in play, but I think this is the first time that we've actually seen Jackal ran by one of the teams, so they do seem to be focused quite heavily on, getting actually some semblance of pressure onto a single player, or, roam clear. But I don't know how effective that's going to be. As you can see, some are going to go down there on that cigar wall. Unsurprisingly. I'm Insanity, I haven't had time to change the name back, bruh. You should change it back at some point. Now, a one-man advantage here in favor of... non-man advantage, actually. I thought that there was already an opening frag. Release nearly got fragged there as he's trying to play below here. He does have the gun 6, actually. I'm surprised to see him running that. We haven't really seen it all that much. It is a general utility device. I don't know what you want to refer to it exactly as, but that's what I consider it. Pretty much how it works is that it has one shot. It can deal, I think, 15 or 20 health. Damage, pardon me. And it can take out shields, think castle barricades, normal barricades, think it can open up hatches, base takes down, release, can take out a bulletproof camera. It's pretty much like a non-penetrative version of the Cali Lance. 4v3, 4v2, actually, Kyoka person takes down Toxic Ninja. It's something just Mike can play here. As you can see, he'll actually fall there at the hands of base, but both of them trade each other out. So it's up to just, it's a wrap here. Instagram's at least holding an angle there on a laundry, I think. Might be expecting this final player to roll around that corner. Will as well, just playing in the cocktail area. And then finally, Kyoka person holding this angle here. Does not have any smokes left. I thought he might still, but alas, not enough. Still very little time there. His release takes down, it's a wrap, and that'll be a wrap on that round. Now, congrats to Zerlise for, I think it was Zerlise at least, for getting his first kill of this map. Finally moving away from Krispy Kreme employee to an order of McDonald's fries. To make a quick joke about it, 5-2 now, though. Jokes aside, as it's one round away from technically series point, map point, certainly match point as well, assuming that they get that opportunity. And we are going to have a timeout. Anyways, since we're waiting, we're going to be waiting about a minute. maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less. Don't know what they're exactly. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna end the timeout in about a minute, I'd say. Let's see. Has it been approximately a minute? Yeah, it's been about a minute. So we're gonna resume the timer here. Anyways. The potential penultimate round here happening for the defending team. And for the attacking team as well. I'd say the potential penultimate round win. Is obviously not guaranteed. You know, never say never, but there is a 3-round advantage that has been developed over the past pretty much half in favor of the now defending team on Cafe, which is a
10 seconds remaining.
You know, it's a
5 seconds left before insertion.
It's just
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
It's a result of their work, and also I'd say to an extent defies mistakes. Okay, let's see. We have some UnSound Minds fan here. UnSound Minds fans. There we go. Here. Nothing like this for them. This is a ground floor defense from them. They are going to be holding the kitchens. They have a castle in play, oddly enough. As Ballistic is down but not out here, I certainly, if you're Reborn, he's one of the people in the chat, who's a fan of UnSound Minds, you're certainly hoping that Ballistic gets revived. I think he will get revived. It's unlikely that he doesn't, as they seem to have set up a smoke hole mixed with a sight line there. I think that was a mistake for them to make. 5v4 his base does take down, it's a wrap. And the diffuser is down as well. The case is cold, as I like to say, as one of my casting colleagues, I suppose, likes to say as well. I don't know what's going on here for DEFI, but they just seem to be a bit of a mess here. Nothing against them, it's just they are not doing what I'd say they need to be doing. They're not showing up here when they need to show up. And that's what seems to be costing them, really. As there goes Release, and taken down by Kyuaka Person. I don't know why he wasn't even holding that. 5v1 there. Will takes down Random up to just Toxic Ninja here. And I don't... They're just in... Nothing against DEFI. They seem like nice people. They seem like an alright team. They're just in shambles. I mean, they lost the diffuser, and now it's a 1 versus all situation for Toxic here. He has a minute left. He doesn't have the diffuser. He's terribly outnumbered. His team has 4 drones still in their pockets, and only technically 2 drones that he can control. You're just... I don't get it. Boo. Not winning 7-0. I don't think anybody is ever going to win 7-0 when it's an actually even matchup. If it's a blowout, obviously, his base will fall, and it is now. Okay, I think we get your point, Toxic. You're not even shooting a body anymore. You're shooting a logo. You have 1 bullet in your chamber. Great job. You now have to use a shotgun in a 1v4. I think you realize that this round is over, and Kyuaka Person does pretty much confirm it. At this point, I don't even know. I don't know what to tell you all. I think DEFI is out of morale. Looking at the scoreboard here, congrats to Base for hitting 15 kills, surprisingly enough. And now, potential site sweep will occur for the defending team if they win this next objective, which is reading and fireplace. Not too surprising to see it. If it was mining and fireplace, I would be more surprised. But we very rarely see that in competitive Siege, thankfully. I sometimes see it as a meme, though. That's fun. It's just ridiculously difficult to hold. Neither of them are easy to hold, but it's even more so because pretty much it centers around holding Cigar, which has 3 windows, pardon me, and
Attackers have located a bomb.
it would just be very difficult to hold it for an extended period of time. I would say that it's not impossible to win that objective, not impossible to hold Cigar for an extended period of time, but the amount of control that you'd need on it, and the amount of time you need that control.
10 seconds to go.
Position device.
5 seconds to go.
These shooting bodies are going 2 and 8. I don't want to be mean, but yeah, honestly.
Reloading.
But the potential final round of the series, technically, here, as it will be what it will be, to say the least. Before Will takes down Toxic, it appears that there's a Russian play here for the defending team. As Zerlis looks for a kill, he will get it on a random. Will picks off another one. This time it's Mike and play the Imbonti. Got on the objective but didn't get anything. Zerlis and Base get their final kills, and that'll be the last round of this second map of DEFI's map pick.
To be like actual fucking
better
like
servers.
Like
What
this
was
shit
this?
is bad. This is a fucking custom server, and this guy that's running this custom server is probably on some bullshit.
I'm literally on Central.
Hey, all GG's.